All right, welcome into the show. Creative Crypto here. Man, oh man, this drip saga is just getting better and better. I honestly cannot believe what I'm seeing, guys. Are we living in the Matrix or what is going on here? Dripx, the platform that keeps on taking and taking, while the investors are left holding the bag. So we're going to get into what Dripx did over here in a minute. But first, we got to take a look at the three stooges over here on the Dripx team. Now, these two are the partners in crime that team up on all of these projects on the dev team. Experience Crypto 24/7 is just a YouTuber. But what I find odd about this is, number one, that they're all together in the same location. So obviously, these guys have hung out before. They are very friendly. For them to feel comfortable with a random YouTuber being in the same space as them, that just shows that these guys have obviously hung out before. They're comfortable being in each other's houses. I don't know whose house this is. I'm guessing it's hustleman Matt's house here. But either way, I just find it odd that all of a sudden, these guys are all together here, sitting down and talking about Dripx. I mean, could it get any obvious that they let insiders and insider information in on this project? I mean, you got a YouTuber at your house. I'm sure Experience Crypto 24/7 gets all the inside scoop of when these guys are going to make moves and how he's going to profit off of what they do. You know, their own little clan here, their own little crypto cult. Now, I had a feeling this stuff was going on behind the scenes, but for the fact that they're actually showing it to our faces, that these guys know each other in person, hang out with each other. I'm sure Moonshot Max's house is just a couple blocks down the street. And these guys just sit around and think, what crypto project can we come out with next? How can we line our pockets even more the next time? So it's just pretty bold that they're actually putting this in our faces and actually showing us that, yeah, we know each other in person. We've been doing this for a long time before we probably even showed our faces. You know, I'm sure these guys had other alter egos for their dev accounts before this, before they came out publicly. Okay, I'm sure they've had other projects that they didn't put their name on, but that they created and that probably rugged. I'm sure if I went back through the wallets, I could find some projects, but who has time for that stuff, guys? Honestly. Okay, and then I saw another one here from the Drip Coach, who always tries to put a positive spin on Drip. You know, kudos for him. He's trying to keep the Drip dream alive, you know, because his name is the Drip Coach. I mean, what else are you going to do? So, you know, he's trying to keep the dream alive, the Drip dream. You know, this is bullish news and could generate millions of dollars. And the news he's talking about is Dripx has changed their protocol, which was originally going to use part of the buy and burn funds to buy Dripx and burn it. Instead, they've decided to do something different. And that's what I'm going to talk about in this video, guys, because what they did is pretty shocking and pretty eye-opening, that these guys do not care about your money. All they want to do is make money off of your money and not have to pay you a dime from it. All right, so I just can't believe this. You know, you got Moonshot Max over here saying external revenue is key. You know, just like Warren Finance, who's still making money off our money while the investors are making nothing. Yeah, external revenue is key for the devs to line their pockets. Definitely is key. That is very key for the devs, because that's the one way they can make a ton of money off of you and don't have to pay you a dime. So yeah, external revenue, it is key, guys. It is very, very key. So let's go over here to the great Dripx. You know, you're looking at a 20-day miner, looking at a negative 20% return. Pretty solid stats here for Dripx. So we go over here to the buy and burn, and you can see that buy and burn V2 is the only one left. They had the buy and burn V1, which wasn't doing anything, and I found it very suspicious that they just left that buy and burn V1 at $2 million, and nobody's using V1 of liquidity anymore on PancakeSwap. So I kind of found that odd from the start that they put that in there, because they could have just put it all into buy and burn V2. But instead, they had $2 million sitting in the buy and burn V1. $2 million exactly. So basically, $1 million for him and $1 million for him. So now both of these guys are millionaires, and they had to come up with a way to take that money without actually taking the money and making it look like that they're going to provide some revenue for Dripx without actually using the money to buy and burn, because that wouldn't be any good to just buy and burn. How's that going to make them rich? It's not. So what they decided to do is to take the buy and burn V1, which was about $2 million in BNB, and they transferred it over to, you guessed it, PulseChain. So these guys want to be just like the Warren devs who basically took our money that was in the liquidity pool and are making money off of it to this day, while the project rugged weeks ago, and they're still making money off of our liquidity. That's what these guys are going to do with the liquidity here on Pulsex that they sent over. What do you think is going to happen in a year, guys, when Dripx is done and this thing's not paying out, nobody cares about it? They're just going to quietly take that $2 million and pocket it for themselves, and they're going to stop feeding the revenue over here, and it's just going to be business as usual. Because yeah, on paper, it looks great. We're going to send our farming profits every day over to Dripx and buy Dripx and use that for the buy and burn. So we don't actually have to use the full buy and burn funds to do that. We can just use the farming rewards to do that. Man, everybody wins in this situation. Yeah, everybody wins except for the investors, guys, because this is not going to help the Dripx price. It might help it in the short term. You might be able to catch some pumps, but over the long period, this is not going to sustain the type of income they're supposed to pay out from this Dripx from the miners. This thing was flawed from the start. They didn't do enough tweaking from the titanx smart contract. They should have done a little more tweaking. They should have done a little more testing on the testnet to come up with actual numbers that could be sustainable long term. Instead, they just quickly cloned the titanx contract, built up some hype with some YouTubers, didn't think about how they're going to launch this so nobody gets wrecked in the beginning, and put it out there, pocketed hundreds of thousands of dollars from this. And now for the icing on the cake, now each of them gets $1 million to earn off of every single day from the Pulsex farm. And let me show you guys why they're not going to put as much money as you think into the Dripx. If you think this $36,000 is going to go straight into Dripx, you're kidding yourself, okay? Number one, they're going to find a way to take some money off the top for themselves. Do you think they're not? Why don't they put in here the actual transactions of them bridging over the funds and buying Dripx with it? I want to see transaction hashes of when you guys sent over the funds to buy Dripx and pump that liquidity into the system. That's what they need to put here. Not showing off and showing how much money you're making over here farming on Pulsex. Okay, I want to see actual transaction history of money being sent over from Pulse into this ecosystem here on Dripx. We've yet to see that. All we see is numbers on a screen. Okay, and let me show you why it's going to be a problem getting this much money over from PulseChain to BNB. Okay, number one, we go over here to the farms. Okay, so they have it in these 4 farms here. Those are the main liquidity. They have like 700,000 here, 600 here, and then the rest split between these two. So give or take, we'll just take an average of this one, 145. We'll just do a quick estimate. So the $2 million that they have in here, guys, is earning about $8,000 a day. Okay, 959 ink tokens. Now the issue is taking that ink token and converting it to the Binance Smart Chain. Because if you come over here, you're going to have trouble with slippage. Okay, selling that much ink daily is going to incur 10% slippage. So that 8,000 that you think you're getting is really going to turn into 7,000. Now bridging this over isn't an issue with the PulseChain bridge because you can have a high daily limit. Okay, you can also use Spark Swap as well. Okay, but all I know is this bridge sometimes takes a while, and personally, I don't like using this bridge. I like using, Change Now or some other bridges. And this one only allows you to do 6 million pulse a day. So you can only do 0.26 ETH a day from this per transaction until this thing gets replenished, and then you have to wait and do it even more. So they could be using Change Now, but that's a lot of different transactions they're going to have to do. They could use this bridge, but then they're going to have to pay an ETH gas on the back end to claim the ETH. You're probably looking at losing over $1,000 each day from not only the price impact on the slippage, but then claiming the ETH on the back end and then having to convert that ETH to BNB to then buy the Dripx tokens. And then what are they going to do with the Dripx tokens? Are they going to burn them? I hope so. I don't know what else they're going to do. How else are they going to inject the liquidity in? Are they just going to pair that BNB with more Dripx and add more liquidity? Because that's not going to help the price. If you guys think that's going to pump the price, it's not. So there's a lot of questions with this, guys, and not a lot of answers. What they could have done is they could have kept some of the funds on PancakeSwap farm. The 716,000 they have in one of the Pulsex farms, earning about $2,000 a day, they could have put over here into the Tether wrapped BNB pair. And, you have to play around with this price ranges a little bit. It is a little bit riskier because, If it goes out of the price range, it's not going to get liquidated, but you're not going to earn very much that day. You have to wait for it to come back into the range. But I do think that, this range is pretty safe. I mean, for the short term at least. And, you're looking at $10,000 a day they could have been earning off of the 700,000. This is earning more. This could earn more per day than they're earning off of the 2 million that they have on Pulsex. So why did they really bridge to Pulsex? What is the reason for that? Was it really to earn more yield, or was there another reason? Because it makes it easier for them to take the funds in a year or so after all this has blown over. So who really knows, guys? All I know is, as somebody that's in Dripx as an investor myself, okay, I got 68 bucks in here. So I have some stake in the game. It's not very much stake, but I do have some stake in the game, okay? And as an investor, I don't appreciate that the people that are running this project can set up this entire protocol with a white paper and everything they're going to do and decide to change it a week or two in, and they don't let the investors, the people that put their money into this, have a voice and a say into what they're doing. They just decide, you know what? Instead of using this buy and burn funds to buy and burn, like we said, let's send it over to PulseChain and let's put it in the farms and let's earn off of that and send the rewards back to Dripx. Yeah, that'll be great, because then we can keep the 2 million and just still send some money back, so the community's happy because we're sending some money back to Dripx, but then we're happy because we each become millionaires and we get to earn off of that. And in a year, when people forget about Dripx and this platform goes to ruins, and we'll just take that 2 million, because it'll probably be 4 million at the time in a year, because Pulse will probably have doubled in price, and we'll each be millionaires and we'll be set for life. Yeah, what a great plan. What a great plan. Ingenious, in fact. And they took a page right out of the Warren devs playbook, guys. I honestly think the Warren devs, the Carroll devs, these devs, I'm pretty sure these guys are all the same people. They just had different identities for those other projects because they knew those projects were going to be quick rugs, and they just wanted to go in there, test it out, and see how it went. And yeah, this is just right out of that playbook, why give back to the community? Why just pump it into the community and into the Dripx price, like you said, when you could just earn off of it? Yeah, why not? Why not? Great idea. Except for one thing. They're not thinking of the average person who has to save $20 or $30 every week of their paycheck instead of buying their daily coffee every day or buying takeout a few times a week. They save that money and buy crypto, and they build that crypto up, and they dollar cost average, and they build their bags up slowly because that's all they can afford. And then they turn on YouTube and they see some of their favorite YouTubers talking about Dripx and how this can make you a ton of money and how this is something you want to get in. And they put their hard-earned money into this that they've saved up for a very long time. And what happens? They get absolutely wrecked. And why did they get wrecked? Not because they made a bad decision, is because the people running the platform made bad decisions and didn't have good intentions from the start, because all they can think about is how to make themselves a lot of money instead of trying to make everybody else a lot of money along with them. And it's very evident to me that the team here behind Dripx does not care about your funds, does not care about its community, does not care about its investors. They do not care about your money. All they care about is making as much money for themselves as possible, while also looking like they are trying to make this platform good for everybody and pump money into this platform. Because then it's the best of both worlds. They make it look like, oh yeah, we tried our best, we pivoted to a new thing, and we wanted to make this not have Ponzonomics anymore. We wanted to send real profits to this. And yeah, it sounds good on the surface because that's just the cover story. That's just the face for what is really going on. The fact that now they control over 30% of the funds that were sent to Dripx, to the miners, because people thought it was going to go to a buy and burn fund that would buy the Dripx when people sold and burn it. But that's not happening. It's happening in a roundabout way, but it's not happening the exact way that they said. And the fact that they didn't even take a community vote, they didn't take a community poll, they didn't get your input on anything. They just decided in the dark of night that, you know what, we're going to take the money, we're going to put it over to PulseChain, and we're going to earn off of it. Instead of actually thinking about it and being like, well, okay, we want to go over to PulseChain. Well, maybe we should just keep half of it on PancakeSwap because these numbers are pretty good over here, and we could make, a lot of money over here as well. They could have done that and then don't have to worry about the slippage and losing 10% every time they sell, those type of things. But they don't think about that, guys. They just think about the quick buck. They just think about how are we going to get the money out as quick as possible? How can we start funneling money along and converting it to then withdraw to our own wallets? That's what these guys think about over here at Dripx. All right, guys, so I'm going to propose a challenge here to Dripx and see if they can make me eat my words. Here is the challenge. At the end of this mining period for my miner, day 279, which would be 280 when I claim it, if the market value of my Dripx is $150 or more, which would be the equivalent of depositing $68 into an OG drip faucet, earning 1% a day for 279 days, minus the taxes when you claim your drip and then sell your drip, at the end of that, you would get back $150. If I get back $150 on day 279, when I claim this miner, I will come on here and say that Dripx is a better protocol than the OG drip. You have my word on that? So let's see what happens. I doubt that I'll have to do that, but you know what? I won't mind doing it because that means that you guys that got into the miners as well will be making money. And that's what I care about. I don't really care about myself making money in this. I care about the people that got in with a lot bigger money than I did making money. But honestly, it doesn't look like that's going to happen in the future. Hope I'm wrong, but like I said, I don't see this happening because you got the three stooges over here that are trying to run things behind the scenes and just manipulating things and doing whatever the hell they want without informing the community of what they're doing, and decide to raise a bunch of money in BNB on Dripx and then send some money over to PulseChain. It's like the people that got into Dripx, did they know they were investing into PulseChain at the time? No, they got in this because this was on BNB. Maybe some of them don't even like PulseChain. Okay? There's also a risk in that. What if PulseChain goes down in price? You know, there's no guarantees. You know, if the SEC comes harder after Richard Hart, something happens, you never know. Pulse could fall another 50%. Then what? Then what's going to happen? That's going to be when the real shit hits the fan, is if that happens. Because then you're going to see people panic in the streets. You're going to see a lot of panic happening, and these guys aren't going to stick around for that. That's when they're going to hit the road, and that's when they're going to cash out. So if you're in Dripx like I am, we better hope that the PulseChain price doesn't go down too much in price, because that could be the end of everything. And hopefully that doesn't happen. But that possibility is on the table. So guys, that's really it. That's really all I had to say. I just really couldn't sit back and watch this stuff go down. I'm trying to be the voice of reason for this space because no one else has the guts to speak out against these devs, against these YouTubers that are promoting this stuff. Nobody wants to tell you the truth. They just want to tell you a facade and that everything's going to be bullish and everything's going to be great. We're all going to be millionaires and everything's going to be perfect and Drip is the best thing ever and Dripx is the best thing ever. But the reality is, guys, it's not. So we have to be smart and we have to be diligent. I'm not putting myself above that at all. I FOMO'd into this myself. Okay? I was stupid and bought Dripx and put it in the staking. What a total loss that was. So I've lost money in this as well. So I'm not immune from any FOMO myself and watching videos of YouTubers and jumping into projects. But we really cannot do this anymore because the people that are running these things, especially this team, is not to be trusted. Okay? They haven't shown me anything to trust them with this project. All this looks like to me is one last money grab for 2024 during the bull run where they could secure their bag and be set for life. While us average working people that have to actually work a job and can only save $20, $30 a week, if that, to buy crypto and to build up our stack through the DCA method, we are the ones that get screwed and get fucked over in this situation. And I'm sick and tired of seeing this happen to people, and I don't want to see it happen again. So I'm trying to warn you guys. I tried to warn you guys from the start on this. I'm going to continue to warn you guys about things that this platform does until they can either prove me wrong with results of actual income from this. Until then, I am going to be a voice of reason. I am going to see through the bullshit, and I am going to tell you straight what's going on. And look behind the curtain, look behind the scenes, see through the facade of what's really going on here, and see the people that are actually running these things and actually taking our money. So guys, that's really it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit a thumbs up. Please share it around so more people can be informed about what's going on with Dripx. Leave a comment down below. I'm open to all comments. I respond to all comments. I don't delete any comments, which people think I do, but I do not. Sometimes YouTube doesn't show them. I have to go in there and have to show them in the comments, but I do show and respond to every comment. I'm not afraid. Go ahead, come at me. Let me know how I'm wrong. Let me know how Hustleman Matt and the great Eric the Bandit aren't going to run off with all of our crypto. I mean, they're already wearing all black. What are they trying to tell you guys? They're in the black. What are we? We're in the red. So how are we going to get our money out of this? I don't know. Let me know down below. I would love to hear how I'm wrong. I would love to hear how you're so bullish on Dripx and how we're going to make millions with this and how this is just the greatest thing ever invented. So until the next time, we will talk again. Take care and take charge. Creative Crypto out.